welcome back to Oats Uncut. I am super excited today because today I'm talking about something which is an essential part of communication, and I have an expert for that. This is Vineeta Khanna. I'd like to welcome Katie Kabel, who's a personal stylist, to Oats Uncut.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So Katie, you and I spoke during the COVID times. We did this virtually, and I'm glad that we are able to do this in person this time.
Yes, thank you.
Of course. So I've been following you on Instagram, and I see how you present different looks yourself, and then I know you're a stylist to many people. Now, do you think, jumping right into it by the way, not losing a minute.
Let's get right to it. So much to talk about.
There's so much. I'm so excited about this topic because it can be an endless conversation, and people don't think about it much. That's why. And this is something that you can add more value to than what I can do to this subject. So that's why the excitement on my part. Does attire and appearance matter in terms of your identity and the impressions that you make on people?
The short answer, 100%. Of course it does. I like to think about our personal appearance as our book cover, right? And you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but we have all done that, right? Or have you been enticed to buy a product off the shelf because of its packaging? Yes. So I like to think about our personal appearance and our wardrobe. It's our book cover, it is our packaging, it is what we show to the world. It's the first glimpse of who we are without having to say a word.
Absolutely. So the example that I give my students a lot is that imagine it's Diwali, it's Christmas, it's Hanukkah, one of those big holidays of the year, and you are gifting a loved one an iPhone, the latest iPhone. You will still gift wrap it. Why is there a need to gift wrap it? Because you want to make them feel even more special than the gift already is.
100%, again, 100, I think you could just take over this. You don't need to interview me. No, but you make an excellent point that taking time to make the effort says it matters. If you're talking with someone, you're meeting someone, you're going to an event, whatever it may be, maybe a luncheon with a girlfriend, maybe it's a client meeting, it says, you are important to me, so I am going to make extra effort to take the time to wrap the package for you, to wrap the present for you, because this all matters to me and it's important. And I want you to know that you matter to me and you're important to me.
That is such an important point because, yes, I think it's a way of showing respect to the person across from you, that I take you seriously enough to dress up for you. And I think the sooner we learn that, the better for us, because then it becomes a life habit. It's not a pretension, it's not a facade that you must keep up. It's a life habit. You always present yourself appropriately. So to that point, somebody had actually said to me once that when you go to a temple, dress up in such a way that nobody appears to be a bigger devotee than you. And if you are at a party, nobody should look a bigger party animal, socialite than you. So that's how you present yourself. Know the surroundings, know the context, and appear accordingly. And do you think it adds to one's confidence also?
Oh, of course. I think what it does is it helps to amplify the self-talk, the message, the self-message, right? Because seeing is believing. What we see in the mirror helps to compound those thoughts. And we want, of course, as much positive self-talk as possible. So dressing for the event, the appointment, or even just dressing for yourself, right? Self-care. I matter. This is important,
And I look good when I do things for myself. That kind of feeling is a good feeling. But then what about those moments when you walk into your closet, and a lot of women will identify with this. You walk into your closet and say, I don't have anything to wear. When your closet is packed, there's no room to even go through the clothes. Why do we go through
Why do we do this? Okay, this kind of goes down another rabbit hole. I think a lot of times that women in particular, because we are the ones that tend to shop for fun, shop for pleasure, there's not much intention behind the wardrobe. So perhaps something catches our eye, it's a pretty color, it's sparkly, we're a little bored, maybe we had a bad day, right? And we're just looking for a little dopamine, right? So a lot of times there's shopping habits to fill a void. And I try to direct my clients into shopping with intention. Why are we shopping for these items, right? There must be a reason before we make the purchase.
No, sometimes the reason is only a good sale.
Well, no, I'm telling you, you shouldn't be doing that.
Because like you said so correctly, that you walk into a store, you are not looking to buy anything. Something catches your eye and the price is unbelievable. So you buy it and then you hold on to it for the right moment to wear it. By the time the right moment rolls along, you've changed sizes or you're not in that mood for that dress. The mood swing situation happens.
Yes.
And that dress never gets worn and now you've outgrown it or it's not in trend anymore.
Right. I always tell my clients, don't shop for those pieces thinking, oh, I might need this someday. Because when the time comes, you'll say to yourself, oh, this is what I want to wear now. This is what I'm feeling I should wear. This is what I'm in the mood for. So never just buy something thinking, oh, it'll happen one day. Because most likely it's not going to happen. And if that time comes when you have the event, like you said, you're not in the same mood, the parameters have changed, your size has changed, or, oh, it's not on trend anymore. Oh, that color is so 2024, right?
Yes. So on that note, since most of us are guilty of having too many clothes in our closet, clothes that you don't really wear, but they're still there, either you've outgrown them or the fashion has changed, the trend has changed. Should we get rid of those clothes or should we hold on? I'm holding on to them for two reasons. One, I'm very optimistic. I'm going to shed the weight and get into it again. That's one, because I spent money on it. Second, somehow I'm so attached to it, not ready to part with it. Very common. So you're in good company. The reality is no, you should not hold on to the clothes. I do have a timeline that if you haven't worn something for 2 consecutive seasons, and when I say 2 seasons, I don't mean, spring and fall. I mean 2 falls in a row. It's very likely that you're not going to want to wear it. And if you're not wanting to wear it, there's a reason. And why hold on to clothing that is not bringing us joy, right? Wow. That's not making us feel good. Because if you open the closet and you have all of these clothes in there and you feel overwhelmed, you don't know what to do with them, they're not feeling good on the body, they're not fitting well on the body, it's negative energy. Getting dressed in the morning is one of the first things we do to start our day. It sets the intention. It helps to set the mood. So let's not start our day off on the wrong foot or the wrong top, let's say, or the wrong shoe. Yeah, that's a very valid point that, having unnecessary amount of clothes or clothes that you have not worn for 2 seasons, holding on to them is also corrupting the energy. I never thought about it like that. Mm-hmm. So I guess my work is cut out after you leave.
Yes, you're going to spend the rest of the afternoon cleaning out your closet.
I should report back. So now we talked about trends. I also feel sometimes people get very caught up in this whole following the trend. This is in fashion and this is not. What do you think about that?
I don't ever follow the trends as far as what I am providing for my clients. Of course, I follow the trends. For the most significant reason why I follow the trends is because I need to know what is going to be available for them when we are shopping. I need to know what retailers will be stocking. But as far as suggesting trends because it is of the moment, I don't believe in that philosophy. Because style has nothing to do with trends. Style is our personality, it's our values, it's our culture, and that has nothing to do with fashion or trends.
So for people who are unable to identify their style, that's where you step in, I guess.
That's where I step in.
To help them. Because sometimes I feel people blindly follow the trend and end up making a fool of themselves because that trend is not really working for them. how many people in real life do you see wearing the clothes that you saw on a ramp, fashion show ramp?
Never.
Never.
No, they're not made for real people.
They're not made for real people. And even in the stores, if certain thing is in trend, the only trend that I would like to keep and follow is the high-rise jeans.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I agree. I agree.
I don't understand the low-rise at all. I don't think anybody looks good in them. I don't think they're in trend anymore. But they've come back a little bit. They're not the super low rise from the early 2000s, thankfully not, but they are making a comeback. Not on me, but maybe on somebody else. And do you also deal with clients from different cultural backgrounds? How do you make them understand, or how do you think it's a struggle sometimes to have them break out of that mold or apprehension? I don't want to be too Western, something like that. Have you ever faced?
Most of my clients, I kind of work the other way around, is I think many of them are too concerned with looking too ethnic, right? And they want to fit in. And I love culture and I love traveling, and I just eat anything up that's not me. So I would say, hey, you know what? This is a part of you, therefore it should be a part of your style. And let's just put a little bit of that in there so you still feel authentic to you, because your culture and your upbringing is definitely tied into your personal style. And if we were to just, put a Western mold on you, then it wouldn't feel good for you, and you wouldn't feel confident, and you wouldn't look sincere either.
Also, not to try too hard to not look or to hide your ethnicity.
Right.
Because that's also not going to sit very well. You got to work with what you bring in the best possible manner.
Exactly.
So do you have something to show us today? I was very keen. I asked you to carry some stuff, and I can't wait to show all of that.
I did. So a lot of the work that I do is, women that potentially may be presenting to large audiences. And I also do work a lot with branding. So how do we have the wardrobe that aligns with your message? And there's a lot of psychology behind color and certain design features, which I find really fascinating. And I'll show you that.
That'll be great.
Okay, great.
Let's do that.
Right. So what I've done here
You didn't come with the jacket. You just put it on.
I just put it on. Correct.
Oh my God.
Well, thank you. I felt that this jacket was a bit too formal for our casual conversation here. I know you're eyeing me up.
It looks beautiful.
Well, thank you. But what I wanted to share with you is how color can impact the perception and the feeling that we are projecting with our clothing. So for instance, strong, straight lines, of course, come across as more formal, authoritarian, and more serious.
Okay.
The darker our wardrobe, so dark colors, come across, again, project more serious and formal. Anytime we put on a third piece, so the third piece could be a jacket, a vest, again, what that's doing is it's elevating the formality of the look. Now, we started the show off and I didn't have my jacket.
Right, here, I'll take it.
Oh, thank you. So just taking the jacket off allows just a little bit more ease.
Business casual.
Business casual, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just about the color, it's not the cut, it's the fabric too. So I have this bright kind of batik style print, which I was thinking of you when I put this on today, because patterns will also kind of open the window for a little bit more creativity, a sense of more easiness, will be more inviting, as opposed to solid colors tend to be a little bit, again, more serious and formal and kind of straight to the point. Now, I talk about a third piece, but it's also about the fabric, not just the color or the print. So I could still, I'm gonna hand that to you.
Absolutely.
I could still wear a third piece, right? But if I change, we have the same color, right? And I'm still doing a third piece, but by putting on a knit, so a cardigan sweater, for instance, even though it's the same color, and I still have a third piece, this look is more casual than the first jacket that I had, right? So again, more approachable, more easygoing, friendlier. Knits always say cozy, warm, inviting. So this gives a different impression compared to the very jacket that had very strong lines. Now I'm wearing ivory pants, but again, if I were to swap out my pants and I had all this dark outfit here, again, right? So it's about being able to mix casual, formal elements. What do you want to project? What do you want to come across? And obviously knowing your client or knowing your
audience.
Your audience, thank you. Knowing your audience, and you know how they want to be, you know, how you want to be perceived. Yeah.
But it's as easy as that.
It's as easy as that.
3 pieces to keep in mind.
3 pieces to keep in mind, right? Blouse, jacket, pant, but we're thinking about color. So darker colors are more formal, lighter colors more casual, solids formal, prints more casual, and then flowing fabrics more casual, and straighter, stiffer fabrics more formal.
Okay, so what's wrong with this one today?
Oh, what's wrong with it? I'll give that to you. Well, I don't think we have to say what's wrong. Why don't we say what's right with it? Well, I think what we've done here is I love that the pop of color just brings more vitality because you are so energetic.
Oh, thank you.
And you just have this great welcoming personality. So I love the pop of color. Like you said, before you put the jacket on, you just had a sleeveless shirt and against, you know, black tank top against my very vibrant, colorful.
So I had this.
Right?
Which was casual.
It was very casual and against my silk blouse, right? We weren't matching, right? And that's the other thing about style is style allows us to be comfortable with someone. So when I'm ever meeting somebody for the first time, I do a little due diligence and I try to dig a little bit to see what their style is like or why we're meeting so that I can match my style to them so that they feel comfortable with me. Because style is a connector, right?
Absolutely.
It says, you get me, I understand you, and we're going to get along because our style matches,
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. So on that note, let's get the stools back.
Okay.
So that was great. Now, I'm also a bit notorious for my scarves. So I don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg. I don't know whether people saw me in scarves before they started gifting me or whether they started gifting me, so I started putting them on because there was emotional attachment to who gave it to you, etc., etc. So how does one do scarves? Is scarf a good thing? Because sometimes I have random people who I don't know, but somehow they know me, come to me and say, "You're not wearing a scarf today." So I feel it's become part of my identity now.
Right.
So what is the relevance of scarves?
What is the relevance of scarves? Well, I think a lot of times scarves are a really easy way. It's an easy accessory to wear. And it's such an easy way to add a pop of color or give a little bit of a dynamic element to a fairly simple outfit. So it can be an easy way out of a simple outfit and not trying to, put too much effort into it, but it does it. And scarves are often very silky, and so they can elevate an outfit because you're bringing those more luxurious fibers into an outfit.
That is true. I just think they add quite a pop to your outfit. And you can hide things if you want to.
Yes, you can, especially as we get older. We might want to hide this or we can hide this. Yeah,
and if it's a neck that you want to cover or whatever it may be, you can do that. And like for this one particularly, I bought this from my trip to India. I went to a national forest where we saw tigers. So there was like pretty interesting, and there's a tiger here, right?
Yeah, I'm looking for I see the Buddha. Where's the?
Here.
Oh, there. Oh, there. Now this tiger's upside down. Oh no, he's not. No, now I see.
Yeah, it's not upside down.
I said he. Yeah. It could be a female tiger.
It could be a female tiger. So this is what I got from that national park. So that's my story for this scarf. So it's very, very interesting, and I wear a lot of my Indian outfit, the saris, the 9 yards that you wrap around yourself, and I'm comfortable in it because I've worn it plenty. But again, the same thing as scarves, I keep getting a lot from people. And then I feel sometimes attached because who gave it, or the story that they told me about it, they wore it at their wedding, their child's wedding, and now they're not wearing it anymore because whatever the reason may be. So I definitely need to clean my closet on different levels of culture and ethnicity.
Right. Well, I also say if you have some pieces that are just really emotional for you, right? Okay, you can keep them, create your little memory box and put them in a box just out of sight so they're not taking up all of that closet. And I can't take credit for this, but somebody said what you can do is you can cut little pieces of fabric from those pieces that are really memorable for you. So you can either keep a little swatch of the fabric or take the fabric and make it into a blanket, or you can make it into another scarf.
That is true.
Wouldn't that be neat?
So to that note, actually, I had a shawl, which is not like a stole, it's much wider. So when you put it around yourself, it's like you're almost wearing a sheet around you. So it was a gift when I got married. I got married in India, and there was a lot of handwork, embroidery work on it, but it was bright red. And I never, ever wore it again because it was just too much fabric. But it was wool, it was embroidered, and it was red. So where am I going to wear it? So I actually recently took it back to India because I had it here for all these years. I went to a special tailor and I said to her, can we do something with it? Can we make a jacket out of it? And she did.
Oh, that is great.
And I'm going to show it to you, actually.
I can't wait to see.
Yes, I'm going to show it to you. So I'm going to get 2 pieces to show you, which have a story like this.
Great.
So bear with me.
Okay.
So as promised, as discussed, this is the jacket that I got made from that shawl that I was talking about. And I'm so glad that you approve.
I approve. And you know what? We don't have to save this for a fancy occasion. I can see you wearing this with a white t-shirt and a pair of jeans and just wear it as a casual running errands piece.
That's a great idea.
Yes, we don't need to save this for a special occasion.
So far, I've only worn it with black blouse and black pants, but I think that white and jeans is a great idea.
Right,
I'm gonna do that.
We don't have to wait for a special event to, wear a special piece.
So this is my red shawl now. One more thing for Katie to see.
Great.
Bear with me. Okay. What do you think about this?
Yep. So I think you are, rocking the menswear look here. I do think it's kind of hard to pull off for the average woman because most of us don't want to look bigger and boxier, and we want to show off our feminine shape, right? I do really like you in the more vibrant colors. I think it's a little soft for your features.
Oh. So let me tell you the story behind this.
Okay, I hear the story. Let's hear the story.
So the story that keeps me attached to this jacket is, and I just got this a few months ago, it's my dad's jacket.
I had a feeling that was coming, yes.
It's my dad's jacket. Yep. He had got it stitched, and then he barely wore it once, and he passed away. So there's a lot of emotion attached to it. And when I was in India last, I had my son try it. Didn't look so good on him. My husband tried, no. My brother, no. So I said, let me try it. And when I wore it, my daughter said, Mom, that looks great. I said, all right. You think I can pull it off? She said, I think so, because everybody's wearing these oversized jackets. So that's when I started wearing this. And I did get a few compliments, and I just don't let them stop at the compliment. I must tell the story.
The story is more important. It brings me, very recently, I was helping a mother of the bride buy a dress for, not mother-in-law. So it was a dress for her son's wedding. And we were talking about the jewelry that she was going to wear that went along with the dress that I had suggested. And she had some heirloom pieces. And she said, well, I don't really care about wearing the heirloom. I just want something that looks good with the dress. And I said, hold on a second. This is a moment where the memory and the heirloom is more important than the dress.
Yes.
I always think that, honoring those feelings and those special pieces
And the legacy.
Right? I think it's really important that we don't worry about does it match the dress perfectly, because it's more important the legacy and the meaning behind it to shine through. I think it's so important that you're doing that with your dad's jacket.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm so glad to hear that from you, that as a stylist, you are also still encouraging the sentiment attached to your attire. If there's something that has some story, some emotion, cherish that, honor that. And that will only enhance the way one looks. So that's very true. So, yeah, you were going to say something.
Yeah, well, again, it goes back to our style. Yeah. It is an evolving journey, just like we as people are constantly evolving because, you know, we're continuing to add to our storybook. And so it's important that our wardrobe is evolving as we evolve. And it's really,
I think that's a very key statement, that let our wardrobe evolve as we evolve, because evolution is normal, it's natural, and it's the right thing to happen. So let the change happen and don't hold on to things that you've moved on from.
Exactly. So 2 seasons, going back to your closet.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a lot in my closet. So what is the biggest mistake that people make when they style themselves?
I think the biggest mistake that people make is seeing something on an ad, or of course, we have so much outside influence these days. Thank you to Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. And they get persuaded to buy something because, oh, so-and-so is telling me I need to buy this. Look how cute it looks on them. Oh, that person looks amazing. They get it and they try it on. They're like, I don't get it. Why is this not working? It's because they really weren't listening to themselves. They were listening to the influencer, right? And so again, that goes back to style is not fashion. Style is not trends. Style, again, is a collection of our life experience and our personality. And if we'll feel it when we're not being sincere and honest with ourselves. And then we're just going to be a little uncomfortable in our clothes. And we may even be able to acknowledge that it looks really good on us, but something isn't sitting right with me. And it's because you're not being authentic to your style.
You said all the really special key buzzwords that are relevant in the world of communication, authenticity being one of the main ones, no matter what. Evolution is good, but no matter what, stay authentic, stay yourself, understand your own style statement, because in many ways, style does enhance or impress upon people your identity, right?
Right.
Oh my God. That's a lot of, we don't think much about fashion sometimes. We think it's just a thing to do or ignore. But I think it's so key. Fashion, style, dressing up. And I told you that little story about this girl in my class, right? Who I said, please wear nice clothes for our event that you'll be speaking at. And she said, what's nice? What should I wear? I said, something formal, which is not sneakers and jeans and all. Something nice. So she looks at me and says, like you wear? I thought that was so heartwarming. Even that 7-year-old girl was noticing my clothes. And they do appreciate, actually, that when they show up in class, and I'm always dressed up. I could be in rags or ripped jeans, but I never am. So they appreciate that. And so as a parent, as a coach, as a stylist, you lead by example. You carry yourself the way, and only then people can put their faith in you. And just like that, I have to conduct myself in a way that people be impressed and put their faith in me. And the children learn by observation. People learn by observation. So, well, thank you so much, Katie.
Thank you.
This was a delightful conversation, and it's beyond time. I cannot even get over how long this conversation has gone, but it was just too hard to stop. So I appreciate your time and your insights, and we will share your details on our links here on our post. I hope that's okay with you.
Of course that's okay, right?
And because people should know, and if people have any questions, they can always reach out to you.
Yes, so. And I mean, as you can tell, I love talking about this subject so much. I'm very passionate about it because I've witnessed firsthand the change that it can make in the way people feel about themselves. And it's very powerful. Yes, you can be a very successful person without incorporating style, but it's a really great tool to use, and it can really benefit you.
Definitely. So, having heard this conversation, if you have any questions or comments or thoughts, we'd love to hear. So please go ahead and comment and let us know what you think. And if you have any questions for me or for Katie, of course, we are always here to be reached out to. We shall meet again, as I always say. Stay well, stay safe. Remember to love and laugh and have a blast. And remember to dress well. Right?
Yes.
Bye-bye.